Happy Monday, everybody. We go again. Just past 12 o'clock, UK, British summertime, heading into the summer. Let's get crazy. Right, let's start with Euro, see what's happening today. We're kind of hanging around Thursday and Friday's lows at the moment. I have this previous resistance trend line on the daily chart that kind of acted as support before this rally through 120 in December. I've still got that marked up just in case it might be the next line of support. Also, the 1750 might be an important level if we continue to sell off here in euro. This level here, obviously big round number, 118 is playing its part as resistance since we broke through it last week. So definitely the bears are in control at the moment. Let's see if we stay within this range between 1750 and 1800 today, or maybe we get a further breakthrough. Let's check out the 1 hour time frame. So yeah, we're just hovering. We've already penetrated S1, but the support has been held up fine. 1760 target might be a good one at around about S2. We have a signal to short this. Obviously, there's no point. Let me see if I can just make this a little bit bigger. Obviously, with this key support, which has been holding the euro up, do you really want to enter below this low where our signal is? We'd have to wait for this important support to break, which could be a big ask, but there is S2 just below, which might be a nice target where we just stop go if you were to enter around here. If you wanted to be aggressive, it would be above 1780. Conservative play will give you pivot point as well as a bit more of a defense. But as you can see already today, pivot point has been chopped through a number of times. And when the market reacts like this to pivot points, I don't see a need to use them anymore. If it was clearly defined, like say S1 or S1, a pivot point, or one of them was this level here, then this would make it important. But because we've already chopped through, it doesn't look like the markets give a damn about pivot points, especially in euro. So I'll be taking that short if it happens. Couple of things going with this trade is with the trend. This could be a bear flag and a breakthrough there. Might catch any of these people buying around about these lows. Should we close below this one, they would be offside and get out of their position. This should add to the selling pressure, and a push down to S2 would be my target. Let's see what happens if we get there. But yeah, that's the euro. I'm just going to talk about a few more pairs this afternoon. It's been a bit of a slow morning, which is pretty typical for Monday. So let's have a look at the daily at the pound. The pound, I talked about this false breakout towards the end of February of this trend channel, this ascending trend channel. Obviously, the direction was up. You can see this is hugely choppy around at the end of last year in December. We then continued the chop through, had this kind of like false breakout here, and then we had some nice price action up to there and exhaustion, which confirmed this false breakout once we closed back inside that trend channel. Since there, we stayed below 140, big round number, psychological level. We put in this triple top. And then last week, we broke below this ascending trend channel support. So this may act as resistance should we continue to claim back some of the losses from last week. This could be an important area to come back and act as resistance instead of support this time. Let's have a look at the hour, maybe and make a little bit more sense. Yeah, see, so we're not so far away from this trend line resistance, and also just above it's S2. So this might be the trigger, or where the where people might start taking profit. And this might be the area where it attracts new sellers. So keep an eye on S2 around there, above that big round number 139. But we've already rallied 80 plus points in the pound this morning after reacting to this 137.59 area, which provided nice support again today. So I'm not sure how much more room to the cable's got if we to the upside. So perhaps if you're long already, start looking to take profits around S2 should we get there. And there's also this previous support area. I've kind of drawn a rectangle around it just because this, well, let me try and explain first. Yeah, this area, there's a lot of touches on the support side, which weren't too clearly defined, which are kind of acting as resistance now. And if I take away this trend channel, what am I talking about? This rectangle, you can kind of see that this was the trend line, which where the market stopped. No apparent reason, but when you draw that trend line, it kind of makes sense. Straight through R1, we stop here. So that's an important area as well. It seems to be on the hourly, so you might want to mark that up on your chart if you haven't got it on already. But I would say that the bulls are in control at the moment, and I do like this. Perhaps a scalping long should we get above this kind of bearish pin bar on this trend line that I already talked about. Should we close above that, I imagine some stops are there, and we have a nice run towards R1. But that is less than 1-to-1 risk to reward, so I probably won't be taking that. Right, USD JPY. It's been on an absolute tear up since breaking out of this trend channel. Usually on the ascending trend channels, if we get a break towards the upside, they're not usually like this. So this is clear. We got rid of some obstacles. There's a lot less sellers, and this goes parabolic. So UI has been extremely nice to trade when the market was like that. Since then, we were trading sideways. We put in this bull flag, and on Friday we broke through it and had a nice continuation up towards this previous resistance area, 109.70, and then just above that is a big round number 110, big psychological level. Let me zoom out a bit. You can see where the resistance was, where we stopped on Friday, and today we're putting in a nice inside ranging bar so far today. Let's go look at the hourly. Yeah, the hourly, this is where the big resistance was last week. And we put in this amazing outside bar before we went higher on Friday morning. Since then, we've come back. We've kind of tested the high of that outside bar. But also like GU, there's a lot of previous resistance here. So if there was any people looking to buy on a retest of the breakout area, then it could be anywhere within this kind of zone. We've already had a close test that was close enough, and it seems like the bulls are in control. There's a trend line here. Should we get above that, this is also the previous resistance. So it's not so clear to buy anymore. Maybe you want to wait for all of this to be passed before you think about taking a long up towards R1 or R2, and also keep in mind this big round number 110. It's always a psychological level that UI seems to respect. So keep that in mind. Aussie dollar. What did I want to say about this? Yeah, we obviously the trend is upwards on the daily bar. I mean, 2020 was a big year for the Aussie dollar. The direction, the trend is up. It seems to me that we might be putting in some kind of head and shoulders here, this being the neckline. This might be the left shoulder, this is the head. Although this wasn't a test of the neckline, we have tested it now. To complete this pattern, we would need to come up and test this 78-18 area before coming through and having a break of the neckline on the daily chart. It's always tough to take these ones because you're going against a trend. But this is starting to look a little bit more clearly defined. But usually when that happens, it sucks a load of shorts in here, and then the pattern was a false one, and we end up continuing the trend higher. So yeah, it's just an observation that I've made. Wanted to share that with you. Towards the hourly time frame, when you compare days like this, unfortunately, the original break came out of hours. It was difficult to get it to jump on this train during the day. So we've just been left with these kind of scraps, this sideways action. This is what we like. This is what we don't like. We like trends. We like breakouts. It's going in the right direction. So we did have a signal this morning to buy here, which I'm currently in this trade. Let me make this a bit bigger. Yeah, on this candle, but we did react with this low here. Let me draw a horizontal line. I don't know why it's come up so bright. I think Gigi must be playing around with my trade in view, or our trade in view, and change the lines. But yeah, this, you can see this low has already been reacting. We haven't had a true test, but I'm happy to stay in this trade for now. I think the bulls might have a second attempt. We didn't quite close back below inside this kind of range. If this candle would have closed down here, then I would probably look to get out as quickly as I can, since I am long. But because it closed on the higher the range, I'm still reluctant to get out. I think this might have another test before we get it. There's a few targets up here, particularly this R1. This is also a kind of thinking area around here that we can reach. And then there's a couple of lows that play this part on when was that, the 23rd, the 22nd, 23rd, which I've drawn up here with this rectangle. So you can see that, this could go to R1 and R2, but the trend is downwards overall on the hourly time frame. So you are quite going against the trend here. So let's see what happens and get this disgusting yellow horizontal line off my chart. Last pair I'm going to talk about is EA. Unfortunately, I think I missed a good one this morning. But this trend line, just to make you aware, we had a few touches as resistance on the daily chart. We broke through it with this huge bullish candle last week, and now we're retesting it as support. So depending on where we close today, should we close somewhere near these kind of lows, I think this breakout would then be a false one, and we continue this push lower. It is a very decent downwards trend in EA, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if the bears aren't finished here. So let's see where we close today. Again, if we close below this trend line on the daily chart, this would be a confirmation that this breakout was a fake one for me. Let's check out the hourly. Yeah, the hourly, the breakout came here. Perfect triple bottom here. There was a bit of uncomfortableness if you took this trade. I wasn't at my desk this morning, but we closed back inside the triple bottom, which is usually not a good sign. But the next candle completely takes out any discomfort, and suddenly you're looking okay. Right now we're hanging around S1 and that previous resistance trend line that I was talking about. So a pretty important area here for EA. If I would have taken this and my stop would have been up here, this is around half R. Usually I want an R. I want 1R, 1-to-1 risk reward. So I need to reach something like S2 if I was in this trade. But seeing what happens around here, because this is a big area of what potentially could be support, should we come back up to test this triple bottom, I would probably risk like something like 0.4R to just put my stop behind this previous support. Hopefully that acts as resistance and we get taken down there. But yeah, it's just my observation today. Anyway, we're just heading into the afternoon, so let's see what the US session can bring. All the best, everybody.